What's going on, people? It's your boy Travis, Horror Movies Uncut, Submissions and Slashers. We are back, episode number 52. Hope you guys are doing good. It is Tuesday, January 30th, right at around 7 o'clock at night. We are ending the first month of 2024 on a high note, giving you guys some news and updates of what's going on in the independent film genre. And of course, we are always happy you are here with us. Things you need to know: follow us at HMUNCUT. That's Horror Movies Uncut. Hit that.com after that. That's the website where you get all those news and updates of all the things that we list daily going on in the independent film genre industry, trying to keep you guys abreast of all the good stuff so you know what movies are out there, what you should be checking out. Okay, on today's episode number 52, we're going to be giving a review for the film The Seating. Looking forward to giving you guys that, and we have a nice amount of news to drop on you guys tonight. Gonna give you some thoughts on the new Roadhouse trailer that just dropped, the new announcement and trailer and poster for Panico, which is the Argento documentary that just dropped. Well Go USA has a film called Sting. It's a big spider film. We put some news up about it earlier last week. We're going to talk about it. We got the film coming our way. We got an interview coming up. Here we go, 2024. Told you guys we're going to have an interview coming up pretty soon. We got one coming up about this film, Sting. We're going to give you guys some details and some thoughts on that. We also are going to talk about what a lot of you guys saw when you were watching the Kansas City Chiefs or the San Francisco 49ers become victorious as they both lead themselves to the Super Bowl. You saw the trailer for Ricky Stenicki, John Cena, Zac Efron. We're going to get some thoughts on that, and another film that hopefully we'll get an interview lined up for. We're working on that right now, but we're going to give you details for sure. We posted some information on it last week as well, and that's the new supernatural thriller Cell Phone. Okay, got some weird news of last week to drop into. We are gonna give a little details on a big budget action film that I think you guys all kind of know is on the way here pretty soon. And then we do have an indie film shout out for The Grave. It's a film we slightly mentioned on some Hell is Coming Up streaming type of stuff, which we do have today as well. But we're going to give you a little bit more details on it. We do have this film. We are looking to watch it in the next couple days so that Justin Cook does not kill me and I can get that back to him. But yo, you are locked in. Episode number 52. You know what to do. If you're on YouTube or Spotify, hit that like, hit that subscribe. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. All right, so we're dropping straight in episode number 52, Submissions and Slashers podcast. We are talking about one of the first, if you may, widely distributed horror films of 2024, Barnaby Clay's The Seating. Right now, go on Amazon Prime. You can rent this. Apple, rent this. Pretty much any place you can rent this. It is getting a limited theater release as well, so you might be able to see this. It dropped out last Friday, came over the weekend. I got a chance to watch it over the weekend, rewatched it yesterday, and I was first and foremost starring Caitlin Shell, Scott Hayes. I was very surprised at some of the reviews. They just kind of lent to this idea that it was going to be a very, very slow burning, film that there wasn't too much to get invested in. And I really kind of disagree with that. I think The Seating was entertaining enough to keep you perplexed and pissed off at your main character for the stupid decisions he was making from point one. Here's when the spoilers might come in. You don't never leave your cell phone anywhere, people. You will die, period. I'm just putting that out there, all right? If there's one tad bit. People say, Travis, you've watched so many horror movies in your life. There's one advice for this generation of horror, and I got one for every generation, but for this generation, you guys cannot leave your cell phones anywhere. We cannot. None of us. If you do, you will die. Period. Okay? In this film, this gentleman, he's out taking photos of an eclipse. Do with that whatever you may. When you see children in the desert or in the woods, leave their ass be, man. Don't go. Don't follow them. Don't ask where their moms are. Don't let them be. Don't engage. It's never going to end up well, especially if they're dirty, especially if they're kind of unruly and aggressive, feral, if you may. Like, let them be. It's not going to end up good for you, especially if you don't have your motherfucking cell phone. Excuse my French. Take your cell phone, fam. So anyway, this guy is chasing after this kid in the desert like you shouldn't do, and gets lost, can't make it back to his car. Now it's dark. Trying to sleep, trying to hide, trying to find some place to find some type of comfort. Here's a voice, think like a siren, if you may, right? And he's drawn to this voice. It's in this little basin. He finds a way to climb down there. There's a woman in a little small cottage house there. And he's just kind of entranced by the whole entire ordeal. Time goes on. He's waking up to find out that he's stuck. He can't get out. The way that he was able to get down is no longer there anymore. Then come to find out there's a group of children, mostly boys, that are all, in a sense, pestering not only him, but the woman that's living in this house. But you, the viewer, you're seeing some other shit, man. Like, there's paintings, there's, you know, these little murals and stuff that are all on the walls where you're sitting there and you're just like, come on, man. How do you not understand what's about to happen to you here? And that would be my only beef with the seating, is it gave away a little bit too much for me from the start. Still, I felt it was a rather entertaining movie. I really didn't get the slow burn feel of it. I was able to really just kind of sit and power through it the entire time. I didn't feel like pausing it. You will always have an opportunity to have a lot of slow movements and moments in a film when there is a majority of just like two people carrying the film. But the minute the kids jump into the film and the stuff that they do, I mean, there's some Children of the Corn type stuff going on there. It works, man. So for us here at Horror Movies Uncut, 2.5, 2.5 out of 5 is what we would give it, which means definitely worth watching. I would say watch the film instead of reading other people's reviews. Listen and watch ours, though, that we just gave, right? But I don't think it's terrible. And there's a pickup and a lot of momentum in regards to like folk horror films and stuff like that. This kind of teeters along the lines of that, but allows you to kind of get more of what you would feel from a film like I said earlier, like Children of the Corn, or even closer, like Wes Craven's classic Hills Have Eyes. Something along those lines. Okay? So, that is the seating. We are going to jump right back in, and we're going to start knocking out some of this news on some of these films that you should be kind of giving some attention and love to. Don't go anywhere. Submissions and Slashers, episode number 52. We'll be right back. All right, people, welcome back. Episode 52, Submissions and Slashers. As always, make sure you follow us If you're on Spotify, if you're on Amazon Music, if you are on YouTube, you can find us at Submissions and Slashers. If you want to follow the actual website where you're getting the daily news and updates on all the stuff that we're covering with the films, then you want to hit that up on at HMUNCUT. You add that.com, that will lead you to our website. Okay. So Roadhouse, man, Jake Gyllenhaal, Conor McGregor. I hear there's some weird beef going on where they were supposed to make the film, the film was supposed to go to theaters. It did not. Big shout out to my homeboy Steve Pratt. When I got the trailer, so let me kind of dig back in. So I was talking about this not too long ago. When I remember them first talking about Roadhouse, I remember Ronda Rousey kind of being the main push behind them reinventing the world of Dalton and kind of giving this more feminist vibe to it. But I mean, there's possibility that she may have backed out of the project. I do apologize. I should have taken the time to look up and see what happened to that. I'll have to make a little mental note to check that out. What happened to Ronda Rousey? Let me get that journal thing pop up on my phone. But here we are with now a March release date for a film that's going to be coming straight to Amazon Prime instead of coming to theaters. So I'm hearing that the filmmaker, Doug Liman, is not too happy about that and is possibly boycotting the release of the film, which good luck. There's a lot of people with Amazon Prime memberships and a lot more people once you're getting, NFL playoffs and things like that going on and other things that might pop up that you might want to purchase or get on Amazon Prime. So Amazon Prime's doing well. They purchased MGM Studios, if you don't know. That's why we have MGM Plus out right now, and they're coming out with original programming. I've been getting a lot of releases for their programming, but haven't really been able to tap in to anything too much. But it was only a matter of time that we start seeing some films kind of popping out from what they are all doing as a collaboration. So here we are with Roadhouse, and we got Jake Gyllenhaal, this regardless if you want, I mean, I have to say the guy's still a A-list actor in some regards, Conor McGregor, UFC fighter, Conor McGregor versus Floyd Mayweather, Conor McGregor, the favorite of so many people. He brought so many fans to the UFC that weren't fans of the UFC beforehand, kind of like Ronda Rousey did, like I was speaking earlier. And to see him playing kind of like the villain in the movie, I'm not surprised. He's just really able to kind of dig into who he is, you know what I mean? So not surprised by that by any means. The fact that they are kind of going with the UFC twist, I like. Dalton now is this former UFC fighter who's super badass, bouncer, But look, I'm a kid who grew up on the original Roadhouse with Patrick Swayze and them, and I mean, that movie, it's just, I could still watch that film over and over to this day. So this, it looks it looks obviously terrible, but hey, so did White Men Can't Jump remake, and I actually enjoyed that, So who knows, man? These guys now have enough money to find a way to make these movies entertaining, and I think when this film drops, there's going to be so many people that watch it. UFC fans, fight fans, fans of Gyllenhaal, fans of Conor McGregor. there is gonna be, and then just normal people who have Amazon, because it's gonna be scrolling across their marquee, and there's gonna be recognizable people that they see. So while if they put it in theaters, it would have done okay. I think possibly snatched out pretty fast. Maybe not the worst decision here going with Amazon Prime, because people are going to watch. It's kind of like I said, the White Man Can't Jump remake, they put that straight on Hulu. I thought Jack Harlow and them were hilarious on certain things they were doing with that film. And I'm assuming that there's going to be enough good action and probably a couple comedy spots that this will be fun to watch too. So March 21st, if you have the Amazon, you know what I mean, you will be able to watch this. It's gonna be fun. There's no reason to have any expectations or anything, but I think it'll be a really, really good time. So Master of Horror, Dario Argento. This upcoming Friday, Shudder is going to be releasing a film by Simone Scafidi, and it is called Panico, and it is a documentary about the films of Argento. It's got interviews by Asia, Dario himself, Guillermo del Toro, Franco Fieri, Gaspar Noé, and Nicholas Winding, who we were talking about. He's got a film on his way out as well. So February 2nd, this is going to be streaming on Shudder, and for people who are films of this, this got a big pop on our website. So it's just great to see that the works of somebody that we will forever consider a master of horror is even kind of resonating into further generations. Shudder's also combined with IFC Center to release this Panic Attack, the films of Dario Argento. We posted something about this last week on Horror Movies Uncut. I'm sorry, last week on Horror Movies Uncut. No, Monday, yesterday. Horror Movies Uncut website. It's so many days, right? This series runs January 31st through February 8th. Suspiria, Deep Red, which is my personal favorite. The Panico documentary is also going to be playing there. Cat O' Nine Tails, The Bird with the Crystal Plumage, Opera, Vortex, another favorite of mine, which is a Gaspar Noé film. Four Flies on Gray Velvet. Mother of Tears, one of my favorites also. Inferno, another favorite. Tenebrae, my all-time favorite of his. Dracula 3D and Phenomena are all going to be playing at in this schedule. So if you're at the IFC Center, you get a chance to watch this. But if you have Shudder, boom, you get a chance to watch it at all. So that's great, man. Legend. Super happy about that. So, Well Go USA. My dear friends over there that normally give us amazing action films, especially Asian, South Korean action films. They also give fantastic sci-fi films. I got this amazing film called The Moon that I need to watch, right? We talked about that a little bit on the website not too long ago. Well, they got a monster movie coming, and creature features are one of my favorites, and it's a spider movie, so I'm done. Because one thing that will get your boy all up, worked up, can't deal with it, got to stop watching it for a couple seconds because I can't stop scratching myself. spider movies, okay? And you could just blame that on arachnophobia. As a kid, I saw it like 9 times, you know what I mean? And it was just because it was such an important movie in that summer of my childhood. And it was one of the first movies that I tracked theater to home entertainment to see how long it took a film to get from the theaters to actually to HBO or Cinemax, which is what Arachnophobia came out on. Sting is this film about a young lady who finds a little egg, kind of alienish in a way, egg, and the egg hatches a little baby spider. She hides this spider from her, all the people in the apartment building and her family. And this is, her name is Alila, I think it's Alila Brown. And she plays Charlotte. So she hides this little pet spider. And what she doesn't realize is that the spider starts to kind of grow, but the spider's kind of growing because it's feeding off of some of the inhabitants and their pets in the apartment building. And it's growing not only in size, but also in hunger. So as we posted on Horror Movies Uncut, we get a practical effects, straight up in your face creature flick. Super excited for it. Hopefully we get a chance to speak to Kaya Roche Turner, which is the filmmaker. We're trying to work that with the homie Katie Jo Ash and get that done. Looking forward to it. Thinking we'll come through for sure. But we'll have the movie coming our way. We actually might have it already. I'm very, very much looking forward to it. It's not going to be out until April 12th. It'll be in theaters. I'm assuming where I'm at, if you in the St. Louis area, like a place like Ronnie's for sure will have it. Most of the Alamos, I'm sure will probably get it. If you have a theater like up in Kansas City for them Chief fans up there, like a Screenland Armor or something like that, you probably get this too. Not to be confused with, was it Sting or Stung? Which was the big like mosquito movie from not too long ago, which I enjoyed also. I grew up watching big ass bug movies and shit. I'm a kid of syndicated TV, so I'm down. April 12th is when this will be out. Well Go USA. One of my all-time favorite distribution companies. They're one of the few distribution companies that give me sci-fi films I'll actually watch. Love all the martial arts films, from the period piece style films to the more updated stuff. And then every once in a while, they drop gems and stuff like this. So looking forward to finding out more information about Sting. Okay, speaking about a Sting. So if you were watching the playoffs this weekend, you got a chance to see the trailer for that film starring Zac Efron and the homie John Cena, dude, Ricky Stenicki. Now, here's another one of those combinations of that Amazon MGM Studios that we were just talking about earlier. Okay, so this, for me, I would say you have to look at this almost kind of like when Jim Carrey did The Cable Guy. You're thinking like the obsessive person who starts to kind of follow what's being put in front of them and then takes it overboard. And John Cena's kind of really big into playing these obscure ass weird roles where he has no problem dressing up. He has no problem acting out and acting wild. And if you follow The Rock, if you follow anybody that's actually been able to step outside of the WWE and kind of live on that camera for a little bit, you'll see that's a very, like, it's a common trend with them because they're used to being characters. So not a problem for them to kind of step into that weird world of like wearing whatever and doing whatever. So Ricky Stenicki's about this group of fellas who constantly go out for these like guy dates and guy nights and guy trips. And they're always telling their wives that they have this friend named Ricky Stenicki that is sick, and that he is like got cancer and stuff like this. So it gets to a point where the gig is kind of up, and they have to either give up the truth of who this Ricky Stenicki character is, or figure out something. So what they figure out to do is they hire this guy who like works on the east side, you know what I mean, at a strip club, who also is into like method acting and porn star acting, and it ends up being John Cena. And as you can see from the trailer, dude acts a fool, plays into the role big time, and then when they're ready to cut it off and say, hey man, we got the job done, we got it all figured out, he's like, nah man, I'm staying as Ricky Stenicki. So that's when the dark shit comes into play. And with it being John Cena's big ass, man, I hope for some reason out of nowhere he gets Gorilla Monsoon on somebody for some reason. I don't know. We'll see. But this is also something that you'll be seeing out in the spring, in March. It's going to be on Amazon Prime. Prime out here sending out as much stuff as they possibly can. I appreciate it. I was happy that we got a chance to put out this trailer even before they put it on that playoff weekend this past weekend. So it's an R-rated comedy. You know what's also an R-rated comedy is that new Snoop Dogg thing that's on Amazon Prime, The Underdogs. Like, them kids cuss the whole goddamn movie. Like, that's all they do. The whole entire film is cuss. Okay, so there is some news that came out in the last 24 hours that we'll be updating on the next installment. We're going to wrap up this news segment talking about a film that I think might do pretty well. It's a supernatural thriller called Cell Phone. Now, anytime you have a technology thriller, you start to kind of go back to like the founding fathers of where this came from. And with a film like Cell Phone, it's hard not to just think instantly one missed call. And even whenever I received the initial press coverage from those lovely folks over at Prodigy PR, the first still that was sent to me of the lead character, Whitney Rose Penn, looks like one of those pictures from the original One Missed Call movie from back in the day. In this film, you got a lady mourning the death of her fiance, and then all of a sudden, she starts getting some images and videos sent to her on her cell phone, possibly of her future, her death, some stuff that could have happened to him, and so on. So, you know, it's just another one of those films that just kind of reminds us that if we were to look at our day-to-day lifestyle and what are the things that could be the most terrifying to us, it'll be our children, it'll be our pets, it'll be our workspaces, our way of lives, and what we use every single day, which, you know, are like phones and stuff. So this is when we start seeing your, you know, true kind of indie supernatural thrillers making themselves known as they get some distribution. Films like this were in festivals within the last couple years. We posted a trailer for Cell Phone. It will be available for people. We actually did not get a release date on that yet. So it's releasing next month. So it'll be February sometime. So more than likely we'll get probably another clip or something right before, and that'll have the release date on there, possibly a new trailer or new poster. So look for more information on Cell Phone. We'll have some for you. Other than that, folks, that's what we got for the news segment of today's episode. We're going to come back with the weird news of this week, which is pretty pretty interesting and pretty funny. And then we'll hop into the big budget action thriller, give our indie film shout out from below the grave, talk about what the hell is streaming next week, and then wrap up this episode of Submissions and Slashers, episode number 52. Don't go anywhere. We be back to finish it all up. All right, people, welcome back. Submissions and Slashers, episode 52. It's a lovely Tuesday, January 30th. More than likely you are listening or watching this a day later, because I'm probably not going to edit this until the wee early hours of the morning. But I think it's time for us to go ahead and jump into a little segment we like to call Weird News of Last Week. So we jumped out of one of our normal sources and kind of spun around the globe a little bit more to see if we could find some other kind of crazy things going on. Now, this story was released last Thursday, but it is an update to a court case that's been going on since the summertime. So there's a young gentleman in Utah that is facing charges because they were taping fish to ATM machines. And not only were they taping fish to ATM machines, but they were also taping them to cop cars as well. Now, we've all been involved probably in some pranks or some good times and stuff like that. This young man, I think it's a young man, teenage boy. He's 17, so they're not going to list the name. But I'm sure it's not too hard to find because they listed the kid's Instagram account. Because he had an Instagram account where you could see the tracking of these fishes between August and October. So from the summer, end of the summer into October, college football season, this kid was responsible for making these social media videos and posting and just taking duct tape and taping all these like mackerels and other fish to ATM screens, just to the screens. And they didn't care at first. People in the town, it wasn't that big of a deal until eventually, some Provo, this was going on in Provo. Big shout out to Provo. Then eventually, it started to kind of cost the city some dollars for them to keep removing all these taped fish. They have no idea how the kid got the fish. The Instagram account is fish_bandit84. So fish_bandit84. That is the Instagram account where you can see all the history and the storyline of the taped fish to the ATM. So if that ain't weird, man, I don't know. And it just further proves that like the kids in these next generations, they don't have really anything to do. But man, we did some stuff, man. Like we used to tie like fishing wire to like Barbie dolls and He-Man dolls and like swing them at people out of nowhere and shit. So, I can't hate too much. What I can do is move on and talk about what's the big budget action thriller that pretty much everybody's going to be talking about, everybody's going to want to see. It's going to be playing in theaters. I didn't get a chance to see American Star, which is the film we talked about last episode, but I do have design still to see it. The film that comes out this Friday, technically Thursday for most places, that everybody's going to be talking about and looking to see, joins us from the land of the franchise of the Kingsmen and whatnot, and that is ARGYLLE. directed by Matthew Vaughn. You got Samuel L. Jackson, Mr. John Cena. You got so many people. Henry Cavill, Lipa's in here. You got a lot of star base going on in this film, and it is, you know, really the big budget movie of the weekend, period, if we were to kind of dig a little bit more into it. But for us, it is an action film. It's a little spy thriller. We got a kick out of all the Kingsman films when they were out. We thought those were a lot of fun, especially introducing the characters. This is about a reclusive author who writes espionage novels about a secret agent and a global spy syndicate. Realizes the plot of the new book she's writing starts to mirror real world events in real time. It's kind of like the Sandra Bullock movie that was out not too long ago with Brad Pitt and Channing Tatum. But yeah, it's coming out Friday, Argyle. I'm not expecting it to be like super extraordinary, but I guarantee you there's going to be a lot of fun action scenes in there. There'll be a lot of gun violence, a lot of shoot 'em up, bang bang things to check out. So I don't know about you. That's for sure like one of the movies that I'm more than positive I'll go see with my son. He'll want to see that, as that'll be kind of like one of the main movies everyone will be seeing, that'll be stepping into the theaters, unless they're seeing something that they've missed from the past couple weeks, which, you know, you still got Mean Girls and stuff like that out there. So it is a possibility that, you know, the theaters are still going to be kind of filling the seats in some of the films that people have missed in the past couple weeks. But, you know, it's getting cold outside. You got Super Bowl weekend coming up, so, you know, we're now kind of getting into that spot where not a lot of stuff is going on until you get to the Mardi Gras and the St. Patrick's Days after Super Bowl. So movies start to kind of invade people's lives, and if one company is invading people's lives, man, is Amazon Prime. And like, this is really like the it's like Submissions and Slashers episode to number 52, aka the Amazon Prime episode, because when we talk about our like film that is our indie film shout out from Below the Grave today, we're talking about a film that's streaming right now called Trunk. And it's just, you know, when we talked about this on the website for Horror Movies Uncut, it really reminded me of that 911 phone call movie that Halle Berry was in when the white chick was in the trunk. And, you know, I see why people really, really get into these films, especially if you kind of got like the Barry thing going on where they, you know, all they have is a cell phone and a lighter. And in this movie, there's like a hole. You could see some stuff going on outside. So it adds like another dynamic to what the character is experiencing. If you have not got a chance to see this, you're looking for something that's got a little bit of pace, a little bit of action, a little bit of thrill to it. Trunk. It is a foreign film, but give it a chance to, you know, maybe something to put on while you are getting them wangs ready for that Super Bowl party. You know what I'm saying? So that's our little indie film shout out from Below the Grave. Another thing on Amazon Prime, which is Trunk. Okay. What the hell is streaming next week? So February 6th, VOD Gods of the Deep will be on. And then on Friday, we got two things getting limited release and VOD. Out of Darkness, which is the film that was originally called Origin. That's the Andy Cumming movie. Here for Blood, Double Blind, and then a film hitting limited theaters that a lot of people are looking forward to, which should actually be in most theaters. I know we'll probably have it in at least 2 theaters here in St. Louis, is Lisa Frankenstein. That's a film that I think will get a huge buzz from our young lady populace and community in horror and fiction, which should do well in theaters next week. But other than that, people, that's about all we got. Submissions and Slashers, episode number 52. We are going to be jumping back in next week, giving you guys a review for the movie Sting, hopefully giving you guys an update on an interview, or even possibly the interview, depending on when we hear back from Katie Joe and the folks. Cell Phone, we'll have a review for that as well, because we know we got that being sent to us. Didn't get anything from Sundance to wrap it up. Hopefully something will be popping our way on something that's being sold or bought. If not, we'll have other things for you guys to check out. As always, we appreciate you. Make sure you are subscribing not only to the podcast Submissions and Slashers, but also to Horror Movies Uncut's website, HMUNCUT. People, appreciate you guys. Episode number 52. We are done. We are out. Deuces.